Now, there's this growing idea that just tax the rich more is your problem solved. Now, it sounds simple, but let's unpack it. Now, many wealthy people don't just have money, they have unrealized value in their businesses. Now, their businesses are worth millions on paper, but until they sell, there's no actual cash. So when someone says, let's take 2% of that wealth every year, it raises tricky questions. Who decides the value? What day is the valuation done? If the value drops, do these people get a refund? And if they don't have the cash, do they sell their assets just to pay? So the UK economy right now is a super slow moving, rusty bicycle that was trying to go faster, even adding a few new parts and a lot of effort. It's still giving us that wobbly ride. Now the government says it's making changes, adding a new wheel here, tightening a bolt there, but no matter what they seem to do, the UK just isn't speeding up. So why is our economy dragging? Why does it feel like we're watching other countries just fly past while we're stuck on the side of the road? And why are we left feeling the pinch? And what can we actually do about it? Let's discuss. So right now, the UK government is trying to fix the bike. They're spending big. A third runway at Heathrow. Okay, cool. More flights. Relaxed planning rules. Okay, maybe we can build faster. Cutting that red tape. Less forms involved. But even with all of that, we're still expecting a potential growth of only 1% next year. Now 1%, that's barely touching the sides. And that's actually not just disappointing, it's actually dangerous. Because the truth is, patching the tyres won't matter if the frame is cracked and the gears are not working anymore. So experts at the NIESR, kind of like the economic mechanics, you can think of them, say that the UK's core problem is its low productivity. So it means that we don't get enough done for the hours we work. We're pedaling harder than ever, but not going much faster. Working, but not getting any more for it. And the business investment into the country, it's way below where it should be. Companies aren't investing in new tools, they're not hiring at scale or betting big on the future technologies. Now, without productivity and investment, that's like having a bike with no chain. You can push all you like, it's going to produce no motion. Now, the issue is Britain's forgotten how to actually grow. Now, back in 2005, London was the place to be. It was the magnet. It was the magnet for talent. It was the hub for opportunity. But now, entrepreneurs are leaving in the thousands, not because they're just greedy, but because the system just isn't working anymore. Now let's talk about the numbers that can't be disputed. So government spending has nearly doubled from 700 billion to 1.3 trillion. The government now makes up 45% of the entire economy, the highest since World War II. But the services, are they twice as good? Are they twice as many police officers around? Is there twice the value in schools and hospitals? I don't think so. Now, meanwhile, business owners who make £1 million plus a year, the ones hiring people, paying those taxes, building companies, they're the ones that are leaving. But every time one of them goes, the UK loses 450,000 in tax revenue. You need about 50 middle income taxpayers to replace just one of them. Millionaires don't just make money, they subsidize systems. Now there's this growing idea that just tax the rich more is your problem solved. Now it sounds simple, but let's unpack it. Now many wealthy people don't just have money, they have unrealized value in their businesses. Now their businesses are worth millions on paper, but until they sell, there's no actual cash. So when someone says, let's take 2% of that wealth every year, it raises tricky questions. Who decides the value? What day is the valuation done? If the value drops, do these people get a refund? And if they don't have the cash, do they sell their assets just to pay? Now, it's not that they don't want to contribute. Most of them already pay corporation tax, income tax, capital gains tax, VAT, and inheritance tax, often multiple times over. Now, the issue is, if you punish success too heavily, people take their success elsewhere. Now, on top of that, Now add in a digital twist. Now in today's world, businesses aren't tied to geography anymore. You can run your company from anywhere on the planet. Now companies now live in the cloud. They run on algorithms, databases and code, not just factories and buildings anymore. Now if the UK becomes hostile to business and entrepreneurs, they will just move away to Dubai, to Singapore, US, you name it, because they can. And it's not just the rich. People like plumbers, teachers, dentists, people making 70k upwards, they're also leaving because they hate the country anymore, but because they're tired and they're feeling squeezed and they want to simply see more return on their hard efforts, which is understandable. But let's go back to the spending of 1.3 trillion. Now that's a huge amount of money. So where's it actually going? Now we've got potholes everywhere. The NHS is in a mess, to say the least. Public schools are under massive pressure. Trying to call HMRC, you're on hold for more than an hour. There are more administrators working in hospitals than there are doctors and nurses. Now there's over 6 million people working in government currently. That's more than the entire British Empire needed to run half the world in its time, which is just mad. Samsung, a global company, runs with 250,000 employees. So why the heck does this small island need 6 million people? So what do we actually do? Okay, we need serious investment. Okay, serious investment in things like digital skills to start off, AI infrastructure, practical tech training, startup incentives for innovation. Now, if we get this right, we can start to become that leader again. But if we wait, we'll likely get left behind. Now, trade could help, but at the moment we're in a tough spot. Countries, they're putting up their barriers. There's tariffs, regulations. There's this red tape galore right now. Big tech giants, they're rooting for profits, of course. You got people like Facebook pretending to be Irish. Amazon's profits are vanishing offshore. Meanwhile, the UK government focuses on just taxing us for selling second-hand garments on eBay, for God's sake. That's not a growth strategy. That's just pure foolishness. So the thing is, the bigger question needs to be, do we want to be a bloated, bureaucratic, stagnant economy where ambition gets taxed and success is pretty much punished? Or do we want to be that entrepreneur island, a smart, fast-moving, forward-thinking nation where growth is welcomed, innovation is rewarded, and people feel like there's a system that's working for them, not against them? Now, this isn't about taxing less. It's about taxing smart, spending smarter, building a system where growth actually happens and is achievable. So what's your takeaway? Because I don't think we need more tweaks. We need a rebuild. We need to focus on a real growth plan, having smarter targeted initiatives, massive investment in digital skills and AI, becoming a leaner, more accountable government with a bold vision and a future outlook. Because right now, we're riding a slow, rusty-ass bike while the rest of the world's racing ahead on hoverbikes. Now it's time to catch up. It's time to build something that's better. Thanks for watching. If this video made sense to you in any way, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and drop your thoughts in the comments on where do you think the UK's growth should come from. Hit me in the comments and we'll discuss. And I'll see you in the next one.